Hi Bull Bakers, I am here with Peter Walsh.
Hi.
A professional organizer and Oprah's decluttering guru.
That's right. And I'm here with Gemma, the master baker of the universe, our first collaboration together, and I'm super excited. So what are we doing?
Peter helped me organize my baking cart. It was a mess with sprinkles and a lot of baking bits and pieces, and he transformed it into a beautiful, functional baking masterpiece. To say thank you to Peter, I'm going to show him some of my baking tips, and I thought we would take a recipe that we both love, which is pavlova.
Yes.
And with those ingredients, I'm going to show you my little tips and tricks that I use every day and how to make it more cost effective, less waste, and just easier in general. Okay, so I have a question.
Okay.
What do you do when you have a recipe that is like a custard or maybe like a lemon curd or something like that where you need the egg yolks but not the whites? What do you do with your egg whites?
I usually would throw them into a smoothie or something
really?
like that.
Okay, that's good. No, that's grand.
But otherwise...
You don't throw them down the sink?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. So what should I do?
Okay, well, don't throw them down the sink.
Because that's wasteful, I know. What should I do? It
absolutely is wasteful. So when you have the whites left over, this is a great tip that not a lot of people know about. We're going to put it in a Ziploc bag. You're going to write how many egg whites. So we have 3.
I love this because I'm a huge fan of the Ziploc and labels. Okay,
yep.
So we have 3 whites.
The date.
Okay, great.
So then when you go to make your pavlova, you're going to pop these in your freezer. And then when you want them, you take them out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
In the freezer?
In the freezer.
You can freeze egg whites?
Yeah. They freeze perfectly. And they also defrost perfectly. Pop them in the freezer. I take them out whenever I need them. They don't take that long to defrost actually, and I've even defrosted them in the microwave. That's a great tip, right?
I did not know that. Okay, I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That saves me enormously because it means whenever I use eggs,
yep.
I don't have to worry about wasting the
and
white.
It saves you money because you just told me that you throw yours down the sink.
I didn't really mean that. What's next?
Okay, so next is berries, because they are a great addition to the top of a pavlova. Do you ever go to the farmer's market?
Yeah, all the time.
I go around 1:30 or so when they're about to close at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Farmers do not want to be hauling like perishable produce like home with them. So they mark it down really low. There is nothing wrong with it. It is in great condition. I buy as much as I can and I bring it home. So when you buy your berries, if you don't eat them all when you get them home, like you eat what you want, anything you have left over, because they're fresh and there's no pesticides and stuff like that, like they will actually perish faster. So anything extra I have, I put it on a baking tray, on some parchment paper. Don't put it on tissue paper because I did that and it froze to the tissue paper.
Yeah.
Lay them out flat, so they all freeze flat.
So a single layer.
Yeah,
And
lovely.
Are you going to freeze these?
Yeah.
But berries won't.
They freeze really well.
Seriously?
There's sugar in them. So here's the thing, when you're buying frozen berries, like always look at the back of the pack if it's just berries. They do not need to have sugar on them. So just make sure there's no sugar in there.
And so then they don't kind of break down when they're defrosted. Would you just use these for smoothies? Or
yeah,
okay.
It depends on what kind of fruit it is. Strawberries, they're best for smoothies and stuff like that because they don't look great. Blueberries will look great. Raspberries will still look okay. They'll get a little bit mushy.
So the thing here is buy at the right time for the best money.
Yep.
And 2, when you freeze them in a single layer. And the reason for that is?
Here's the thing, if you put these in one container and pile them up on top of each other, you're going to end up with one big block.
Got it.
So you freeze them on a flat tray so you get them all individual. When they're all frozen, then put them into their containers.
Got it. Okay, I love that. Can I put this in the
freezer?
freezer?
There you go, into the freezer. Okay, Peter, how do you like to serve your pavlova? Like what do you like to have on top?
Growing up, my family always put the whipped cream and then on top of that, mixed berries. And the way I prepare the mixed berries is usually I just put fresh berries in the fridge with a little sugar and either a little orange juice or Cointreau, and then almonds, baked almonds or toasted almonds.
Oh really?
Almond flakes on top, so it gives a bit of crunch. But the berries, I'm always intrigued to try something a little different with the berries, so help me out with that.
Okay, so I've got a good idea. Because you were saying that like once you freeze the berries, they do change their like texture and their look a little bit. A really great recipe to use with frozen berries is to make a little compote.
So tell me, what's a compote?
A compote is a little bit of sugar syrup and some berries.
Okay.
And that's all it is.
So sugar, water, berries.
Exactly.
I could do this, okay. So you could use this, for example, for berries and fruit that were maybe a little past their best days, and then you kind of extend
You kind of refresh them, exactly.
Okay.
And then with the sugar in the syrup, they actually last even a little bit longer.
Okay.
Kind of preserves them.
Love it.
The good thing about compote is that it's always half amount of sugar to water. So you're always going to remember it. All you want to do is melt the sugar, let it see it simmer, and then knock it off.
So now what?
So when it cools down a little bit, it's a little bit still warm. You can let it go totally cold. Don't put it in when it's too hot because it will actually kind of like cook your berries and you don't really want that. It's going to take around like just a few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes or so. Let it sit there, let it hang out. Don't stir it too much because then you'll actually break down the fruit. But I have another even great tip to add into this yet again. So I love to infuse berries and liquids with a little bit of extra flavor. So we are going to grab some scissors and go foraging for herbs in my neighborhood.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm up for it.
You up for it? Okay, let's go. So this is a kind of a different variety of geranium.
Okay.
It's called sweet geranium or rose geranium. And if you rub the leaf, do you smell that?
Yeah.
It's lemony, it's perfumey, it tastes and smells like rose water.
And that's it?
Yeah. It's easy, you see? And the thing about it is you forget that all of this is on your doorstep.
Yep.
Rosemary, lavender, mint, and it's great.
Okay, so we'll now just take these.
We'll take these, we'll push it into our compote and we'll infuse it, give it extra flavor, make it taste fantastic. Bring your pavlova to a whole other level.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
So you just bring this
Bring it home.
Yep.
Wash it.
And then what?
And then while your compote is still warm,
No way. No.
in you go.
Just like that?
Just like that. You only need a little bit because rose geranium is actually quite strong. It's perfumey. You don't want to have a ton of it in there. So when it's still warm, it infuses it a lot better. And then just leave it in there. Then we push it in the fridge when it goes cold. Leave the geranium in there. Just don't eat it. It's kind of tough, but it just gives a beautiful flavor.
This is voodoo. This is voodoo. So just, and that's it.
That's it.
And it just gives it a totally different flavor.
Yeah.
So I think you've completely, like, my head's
blown your mind.
Exactly. Okay, so this is a great new topping for pavlova as well. I love this.
And these things are all accessible to you. You just have to look outside and just put your thinking cap on, you know?
I've never thought of it. Okay, very
There you go.
I've learned so much today from you in terms of just simple things that will move what I do in cooking to a whole different level. So thank you so much. So if you want to know anything about baking, this is the woman you need to talk to, watch and listen to.
Absolutely, and make sure you head over to Peter's channel. I'm going to put a link in the description box below and you can see how he helped me organize my baking rack to a fully functioning piece of furniture.
I'm loving that.
Unlike what it was.
Yes.
And there's other great, fantastic organizing videos over there too, so I know you'll really like it. So please make sure you head over there.
And if you want us to do more of these, let us know. This has been a fun day. See you soon.
Thanks a million.
Check out all of these videos.
Thank you. Wow, it's great to see you again. Wow.